What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Senate. Now, I know I talk a lot about the Senate and how they're on recess and they're not doing this, they're not doing that. And I should really be talking about individuals in the Senate because it's not the whole Senate. So we're going to talk about how some of the senators feel as far as being on recess right now. We're also going to talk about the announcement that we never heard. So we were supposed to hear an announcement last week, and we did not hear that announcement. That announcement was going to be the stimulus check, how much it's going to be, and the next stimulus package, what's going to be in that stimulus package. And so we're going to talk about that. But first off, on this channel, we talk about personal finance for travelers. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. Okay, so the first story I want to talk about is you have some senators that are calling on Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Senate, to break this recess, come back from the recess, and start getting things done. I mean, we have a crisis that we're facing right now. We have the numbers increasing when it comes to COVID-19, and we have senators still on recess. And you might be saying, well, we knew they were going on recess and they wanted to wait and see. They wanted to wait to see the jobs numbers. And that's a good point. They wanted to wait to see what the jobs numbers were. We know what the jobs numbers are now. So they're not waiting for anything else. So they can come back and get things done because there should be nothing else that's on hold right now. They were holding it up, mainly looking for those numbers, and they admitted it. So now that they know those numbers, get back to work and take care of it. And so it's interesting. You do have senators, you have Democratic senators. Now, and let's face it, okay, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. We need to look at the reality here. Mitch McConnell, majority leader, he's a Republican. He's the one that wants to wait and see. He doesn't want to make any decisions right now. He wants to come back from recess and make those decisions then. So that's one side. And then you have the minority leader, okay, Chuck Schumer, and you have the Democrats. They want to get things done sooner than later. They don't want, there's senators right now that don't want to be on recess. They're saying, hey, Mitch McConnell, let's come back. We have things to do. And Richard Blumenthal's one of them, and he's quoted saying that he's urging Mitch McConnell to cancel the rest of the Senate's July 4th recess and discuss the coronavirus package. And he really wants to discuss the HEROES Act, which Mitch McConnell has already said that he doesn't want to do anything with that. And we don't know if they're even going to take any bits and pieces of the HEROES Act. So we'll have to see. But Mitch McConnell is basically saying he wants to create his own bill. And so do it, though. Come back. Get that stuff done. And then you have another senator here, another Democratic senator, Chris Van Hollen, and he raises a good point here. He says the virus isn't stopping, and so Congress shouldn't stop. That's a good thing to say, right? The virus isn't stopping. We know that there's an increase in numbers and all this, and we have people on recess. It just doesn't make sense. And you could say that they're working, they're not on vacation, they're in their districts, they're working, but they can't get legislation done. And the legislation that needs to get done right now is the stimulus package. That's what needs to get done right now. They can't do that from their home districts. And Republicans are saying, look, we can't vote on stuff if we're in our home district, because the Democrats were raising, okay, we have COVID-19 right now, it's just not a good time to travel. And they pushed that a few months back where they were saying, can we do remote voting? Republicans didn't want to do remote voting. So the remote voting can't happen. So we know that's not going to be a situation where they can say, okay, you know what, we'll do remote voting. They're not going to do that. They have to be back in Washington in order to get a package signed, approved and signed. And these senators are right. There's nothing holding them right now from making decisions and getting back and voting on something. Do it a week early. That would help out a lot. That would help people get money a week early. So we'll see where it goes, but it amazes me how out of touch some of these senators are. And it's not all of them. And that's the main thing I wanted to focus on. It's not all the senators. Some senators want to get things done and they don't want to wait. But for whatever reason, Mitch McConnell, he wants to wait. And like I said, and I've said this in previous videos, I don't think they have a plan. I don't think they have a plan for liability protection. They're bringing out little things here and there. But I think there's two things that are going on here. They might have ideas of what they want to get done, But that price tag of $1 trillion that they don't want to spend over $1 trillion, I don't think that's a reality. We'll see where it goes from here. But the Senate Democrats are raising a good point. Like, we should be going back to work. There's no time to waste right now. And if you want to get kids back in school, I'll go back to this. If you want to get kids back in school, get them the funding that they need in order to protect them when they go back to school. Get the COVID-19 situation handled. And the way that you can do that is by pumping more money into testing, pumping more money into tracing, and really try to find out exactly where all these cases are coming from. And you might have to shut places down. You might have to do that. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But let's see. Maybe there'll be some pressure. The White House can put some pressure on Mitch McConnell to get back to work and just cancel the end of this recess, come back a week early, and try to get some things done. But we'll see where it goes. All right, next story I want to talk about, and this is interesting because you guys remember, and this was June 22nd, that President Trump came out and said more direct payments will be coming to the American people. And he said that the amount would be larger than what the Democrats want. And the reporter pushed him on when can we expect to hear an announcement? And he said, well, a couple weeks. He said a couple of weeks, probably. All right. So, and I said back then, I did a video the next day, and I said, he said a couple of weeks. He should have said several weeks because it's not going to get done in a couple of weeks. We already knew the Senate was going to be on recess at that time. So a couple of weeks nothing's going to be announced in a couple of weeks. But he said it. And has anyone called him on it? I have not heard one reporter call the president on that. You said that we'd have an announcement in a couple of weeks, and we're just talking about an announcement. We're not talking about anything being approved or anything like that. We're talking about an announcement of how much the stimulus check is going to be and what else is going to be in the stimulus package. That's all. So this negotiation should have happened already is basically what the president's saying. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you voted for Trump or you didn't vote for Trump. We need to hold politicians accountable. We need to hold them to their word. And if you say a couple of weeks, probably, then you need to come up with something in a couple of weeks. Because if you don't, then your word is nothing. It means nothing to the people. And you work for us. We don't work for you. So you said we would have an amount in a couple of weeks. Where is it? We don't know. And he was interviewed even after that. And he said another time that there would be direct payments and wouldn't give us an amount. It's just going to be big or larger than the Democrats. So all I'm saying when it comes down to it, you need to hold them accountable. It's just like this. This is a good example. Let's say I have a friend and he wants to borrow money from me. And so I let him borrow $100 and he tells me, I'll pay you in a couple of weeks, probably. And I say, okay. And a couple of weeks go by and I say, yeah, you know what? I'm too busy. I don't need the $100 right now. So I'm not going to ask him about it. And then a month goes by and I still don't ask him about it. And so then it's like 5 weeks and I haven't heard anything from him. So I hit him up. I say, hey, you have my $100? And he says, oh, I forgot. You know, I can get it to you in a couple of weeks. And so then he does come through in a couple of weeks after that. So we're looking at 7 weeks it takes him to give me that $100. Let's say another couple months passes and then he asks me to borrow money again. And he tells me the same thing. Couple weeks. I'll pay you in a couple weeks, probably. And so let's say I don't call him on that one and I wait 7-8 weeks and then I hit him up and then he pays me. And let's say he keeps doing it. He does it like 4 or 5 times. And so let's fast forward and it's like, a year after that and he wants to borrow money again and he tells me the same thing, a couple weeks, probably. Now, when he's saying a couple weeks, probably, he's thinking, I have 7 or 8 weeks to pay him back because he's not going to call me on it. But let's say I do start calling him on it. Then guess what? He's going to start changing. Either one or two things is going to happen. He's going to stop borrowing money from me because I'm calling him on it. Like he said 2 weeks, I call him on it in 2 weeks. And he says, oh, yeah, I don't have it. I don't have it. Maybe I'll get it in a couple weeks. And so then he does pay it like a couple weeks after that. So it's like 4 weeks instead of the 7 or 8 weeks that he's been paying before. You better believe the next time that he wants to borrow money from me, he's going to be thinking, you know what? He might call me on it in a couple of weeks. Like he hasn't been calling me before, but he called me on it the last time. So either I'm not going to borrow money from him, I'm going to go to someone else, or I am going to borrow from him, but I'm going to make sure that I pay him in a couple of weeks, make sure that I know that I can pay him in a couple of weeks. So what it comes down to is you have to hold these politicians accountable. You need to put them out there. Hey, you said a couple of weeks, we need to see it in a couple of weeks. And all we're asking for is an announcement. All we're asking for is a number. Give us a number. We know it's not going to be 1,200 because you said it's going to be larger than the Democrats. So give us that number. What is that number? And he could even announce in this situation, he can even announce a number and say, this is what I want. We'll see what the Democrats want. We'll negotiate it and figure something out. He could say that, but that's not even coming out. So you don't have to have anything formal. You could have an announcement to say, this is what I want. These are the numbers I want. He's not even telling us the number that he wants and when he wants it to happen. I mean, they're trying to loosen up a little bit and say, yeah, this is the timeline that the White House wants and things like that. But the reality is it's up to the Senate. It is. At this point, it's going to be up to the Senate to decide when this is actually going to all roll out. And just like I said in the previous story, the senators right now, they don't even want to come back early. So it's probably going to be later that we'll see this, later in July that we'll see something start to move. But we knew that. We knew that back June 22nd, June 23rd, when I put the video out. I even said it in the video. He's saying a couple of weeks. It's not going to happen in a couple of weeks. But we need to hold him accountable. And when he did it, when he said a couple of weeks, in his mind, he's thinking, oh, no one's going to call me on it. I could say anything, and they're just not going to call me on it. So there's no penalty to doing it. But you better believe that the government will penalize you if you're late on anything. There's a penalty for that, but we're not giving them the same penalty. So that's all I want to talk about. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that he should be held accountable? If he says a couple of weeks, it should be a couple of weeks. Let me know what you think about that. And also let me know what you think about having the senators come back a little early. They could come back early. They have the numbers that they were looking for. Come back early, get things done. What do you guys think about that? Please let me know down below. Also, we have a stimulus check Discord. So I have a Discord. I'll have a link in the description. Click on that Discord and join the party. We talk about a variety of different things in there. For those of you who don't know how Discord works, basically it is a big server and I have different rooms within that server. So we can talk about credit card stuff, which I talk about credit card stuff. We can also talk about the stimulus check stuff, stimulus package stuff. We're going to open up a group room that's going to talk about the business aspects of the stimulus check and stuff like that. And I have some moderators that are also YouTubers that are going to be talking about that stuff. So it's a great place for us all to come together and kind of find out what's going on in this whole stimulus check, stimulus package world. So please join me there. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.